received all that stuff after him. He also died shortly after his visit. It's a little bit of a warning, but I think on his boat, leave me here at the Red Onion. Please just say bye. So I know about how many people take it back to the ship.
Yeah, I figured. We're not going back home. No, I don't think so. No, I was going to walk around. Thank you, Mom, and I might go to the library.
How are we doing this afternoon? Good. Welcome to the Red Onion Saloon, everyone. My name is Madam Anita Bush, and I will be your horror historian working upstairs today. Now, folks, once we get you off the bus and up the stairway to heaven, I do have a few drink choices waiting for you at the bar upstairs. We have a nice, cool glass of champagne, or if you're feeling really frisky today, water. And folks, before we do all get off together, I feel it only necessary that I let you in on a little secret about the lovely lady driving you around today. She's got a bit of a reputation here in Skagway as being the best ride in town. But she's on the straight and narrow nowadays. I don't know if you told me. I don't know her. She's one of our former working girls. But her priest is very proud of her. She's been staying on that good and righteous path. So if you have had a good time today, be sure to treat her well, so she doesn't have to come back and pick up ships from us anymore. Well, folks, I feel like that's enough foreplay. What say we go and do it? Come on down, folks.
Feel free to grab some champagne or some water.
Florida, excellent. Anywhere else? Alabama. Houston. In 1897, we opened up for business as a saloon and brothel in 1898. And back in those days, Skagway was a town of 15,000 men and 300 working girls. I don't know about any of you, but that's the kind of math that exhausts me. And if any of those gents had been looking for a bit of a good time here at the Red Onion, he would have walked in downstairs, bellied up to that bar, and noticed a row of 10 rag dolls seated behind the bartender. Now, these dolls were made to look like the ladies working and living in the rooms upstairs, matching in eye color and hair color. That gent would have chosen his companion based on these preferences and told the bartender which one he fancied. At that time, the bartender would have laid that doll flat on her back, indicating to the rest of the bar that she would be very busy for the next 15 minutes. They're still doing research as to what they did with the other 12 folks. Don't worry, come back in a few years, we may have the answer. Now, at that time, that gent would have climbed up a steep ladder-like staircase where he would have been met with a bouncer. That bouncer would have led him down a long, dark hallway to the room of the lady of his choice. He would have given that door a sharp knock, and the first rule of prostitution would have come into play. Anyone know what that is? Former working girl among us. That's all right, you gotta pay before you play up here in the brothel. So that gent, before anything else, would have handed over $5 in gold coins. That lady would have tucked it away somewhere safe, and they would have spent their time together. Now, at the end of that 15 minutes on the dot, that bouncer would have returned and thrown that gent right back downstairs. And the lady would have put that money into a small hole in her floor. This was called a money hole. And attached to that hole was copper tubing that ran all the way down to a safety deposit box behind those dolls behind the bar. And that copper was important. That way the bartender could hear the clinking and clanking of that money. He could see a satisfied customer coming down those stairs, and he could look back to see which doll was making so much noise to stand her right back up to attention. Now, unfortunately, that copper tubing no longer exists here at the Red Onion. In 1978, when our current owner, Jan Rentmore, bought the building, she decided that a kitchen should be put in downstairs, and it was determined that that copper tubing would have created a lot of fire hazards. So instead, every single one of these floorboards had to be pried up and that tubing taken out. Quite a process, but a lucrative one. Because underneath those floorboards, they found items that those ladies had left behind 80 years prior. And we'll be able to see some of those on the left-hand side of this display case as we pass through the room. Now, the items on the right-hand side of the display case are for when the building was used as a few other things. We only served as a brothel for 2 years at the height of the Klondike Gold Rush. After that, the building was used as a union station, a radio station, a telegraph station, television station, laundromat, post office, gift shop, pharmacy, and World War II Army barracks. We've serviced men in many ways here at the Red Onion. Now, as we head throughout the museum, I also invite you to keep an eye out for our largest artifact besides the building itself, and that is the wallpaper. Every single one of the pieces of wallpaper you see upstairs today is original to the Red Onion Saloon. In our next room, you will see a lot of framed samples of this paper, all found in the ladies' rooms upstairs. Back in the day when madams were trying to recruit ladies to come and work for them, one of the perks of the job here at the Red Onion specifically was that a woman could decorate her crib room in any way she wanted, down to that fresh coat of new wallpaper. Now, in just one room up here, we found 18 layers. Multiply that by the 10 crib rooms that once stood up here, that's a very high rate of turnover for just 2 years. And that's for a few reasons. The first being the gateway nature of Skagway. The folks coming up here were just as eager to keep heading up north to Dawson City to get their hands on those golden nuggets. And the second being the very rough nature of Skagway. Due to disease and violence, it was not uncommon for these rooms to be vacated overnight. And we do believe it is that violent past of this town that has made way to our haunted present. And I'll tell you about our resident ghost in our next room, but do take note that once we leave a space, we do not return to it. So do snap any and all pictures you would like in here. We do just ask that you turn off your flash. I'll also ask that you hold on to those glasses until the end of the tour, and I will see you in our next room whenever you are ready. Any questions as we're passing through, folks?
Will you tell us about that dress?
I will then.
Okay, sorry.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It really is. It's fun.
Just pointing out those samples of wallpaper that I had mentioned. And yes, we here at the Red Onion Saloon are a certified haunted location. We do still have one lady roaming our halls today. Her name is Lydia. We do believe she was one of our working girls here in the brothel, and unfortunately we do believe she took her own life after contracting a venereal disease. Overall, a very friendly spirit as far as we can tell. This corner next to me is our most photographed up here in the brothel. Many people report seeing blurry faces in the mirror, orbs, and white blurs in their photographs. We have had investigative teams come through. They have found this corner to be consistently 10 degrees cooler than the rest of the building. We believe this may have been Lydia's crib room, or some of the ladies say she just likes shiny things as much as the rest of us. Because also in this corner, laying down, we have one of our most prized possessions here at the Red Onion. It is a dress. It is made of silver-plated copper pieces, wrapped in linen and hand-crushed into the design you will see. We believe this dress would have been owned and commissioned by a madam, as only a madam could have afforded such a luxury. That madam was taking a 50% cut of the $5 that the ladies were charging, and the bouncer took another 25%. That left our ladies with $1.25 for every 15 minutes worked, which doesn't sound like a lot. But back in those days, a lady working in another profession could hope to earn about $3 a day. And they say the average cost of living in Skagway was $6 a day. Now here at the Red Onion, if a woman was working her full shift from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., she could be earning upwards of $60 in just one night, showing that not only were these professions a necessity, they were pretty darn desirable for some of our ladies at the time. Now we do know for a fact this dress did not belong to our most famous madam. Her name was Diamond Lil Davenport. She was a 6-foot-tall alabaster goddess with the bearing of a queen. And she was a little bit different from the other madams at the time. Not only did she take care of her ladies and take care of the money, but she did take care of some of the gents. But for a price. Instead of that $5 for 15 minutes, Diamond Lil was charging $100 an hour or $1,000 a night. She also required 3 pieces of paperwork from her gentleman callers. a clean bill of health, a current bank statement, and a letter of recommendation. 3 things I have begun to require in my personal love life. It's going well. But Diamond Lil's journey did not end here at the Red Onion. She did make it up to Dawson City. And when she came back down south, they say she was wearing enough diamonds that she could light up a hotel ballroom. But Diamond Lil made perhaps the biggest mistake that a working girl can make. Anyone know what that one is?
Quit.
Oh, happened to a few of you. So sorry. She fell in love with a man named Big Joe Hopkins, and it turns out Big Joe Hopkins was a big old gambler. He ended up taking her for every diamond that she was worth. In later years, she was found working as a scrub woman in a bank in Seattle, and a reporter from the Gold Rush had recognized her and asked her what the heck had happened. And she said, "Honey, I may be on my knees, but at least this time it's in a respectable occupation." So still a damn good sense of humor even after all of that. Now folks, I have just a little bit of information about our last 2 rooms before we pass through and finish up our tour. This next room is our only intact crib room. It stands at 10 feet by 10 feet, and it is decorated generally the way a crib room would have been decorated. And then once you cross the hallway, you will find yourself in the madam's room. Take note, it is quite a bit more luxurious than this crib room, and that's the room that our very own Diamond Lil would have stayed in back in the day. So folks, we will pass through these next 2 rooms. Ultimately, I will see you on the other side of the brothel at our exit, where we will be parting ways. Over there will be a staircase leading back down to the main restaurant, as well as a place to put those glasses. And I will be standing opposite of that doorway if you do have any last questions, if you'd like any photographs, if you'd like to leave a deposit in my personal treasure chest. You can feel free, but you can't feel me. And folks, I want to thank you all for coming upstairs and laughing and learning with me today. It has been a business doing pleasure with you.
Ella, did you have a good day?
Oh, that's probably why. I guess, yeah, I can see them. Remember, all the photos today are from 2 weeks from now.
Wait. We're missing alcohol. Does he have both?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, remember, I had to set my time forward, so it's saying all my pictures that I took today.
Oh, when I sang school marching, okay, oh, I want to be in that number. When I sang school marching.
Video celebrating your birthdays, Daniel and Zakaria.
Thank you guys.
One more time. Birthday to you, hey! Happy birthday to you, hey! Happy birthday, dear Daniel Zakaria.